Hey gang, I don't usually do this kind of thing, but it occurred to me like for over 20 years, I've been a avid, serious plugin collector. I would call myself a plugin connoisseur, actually. Anything that comes out, it's like jump on it, demo it, most of the time buy it, and then use it for a week, and then forget I have it, and then go back to using the things I use the most, and the things I use all the time, and that never fail me. So it occurred to me, why don't I do a little breakdown at, we're at 2021, the end of 2021, of what my favorite mixing plugins are. And because of the channel, I'm going to keep this sort of guitar-centric, because I think most of the people that watch the channel are guitar interested, at least we'll say. So hopefully this helps you and, saves you some money maybe, and you don't have to go out and buy every plugin that comes into your email inbox. You don't want to have to reach for a delay and then spend 20 minutes like tweaking it to taste. So my first guy, the Waves H delay, it might be the king of it just always works. The default on this plugin is a great starting point, and from there you can switch to ping pong or filters or filter the repeats, change the timing. Easy peasy. It always sounds great. It just works. It's fantastic sounding. Nothing fancy. It just works. And all of the Wave stuff, try and get it on sale. Individual plugins are roughly like $50, but all the time they're going on $29 sales. My other top delay is, kind of a sort of a sleeper. Native Instruments Replica. This comes with their complete pack, which, any composer, if you're looking to start, get the complete pack. It's an investment, but it's got everything you could possibly want. But Replica is, to my ear, the closest to the PCM 70 delay that you can find. It's not dead on, but it's close. Like when I get them, I could get them close enough to where if I had to do like a real quick mix, I could use Replica. It'll do that thing. Now I prefer Replica over Replica XT, the big brother. Replica is just easier to use. It's simple, has a ton of sound design possibilities with like diffusing the delay and all that, but not too many. And it's like that, big rack ready sound. It sounds good all the time. It's great plugin. Equalizers. This is bread and butter. You've got your EQ on your amp, or maybe your IRs or whatever. But quite often you're going to need EQs, whether it's on your drums or, to make a solo instrument, sort of carve out some space around it and stuff like that. I know some people go like high end with the guitar EQs, and they'll, you got to use the UAD Helios, or you got to use a Trident or 1073s or something like that. I kind of feel like guitars are one of those things that you could use stock plugins, like whether you're using Ableton or Pro Tools. I use Logic, like I said. The Logic EQ stock sounds quite good on guitars. Actually, it beats out other plugins regularly, and it's free. So look, I just saved you a whole bunch of money on buying EQ plugins. Now that said, my other top EQ plugin for mixing guitar is the Waves SSL emulation. UAD makes a great one, Plugin Alliance. There are lots of SSL emulations out there. You can find them everywhere. I believe Waves was like the first. And then Chris Lord-Alge jumped on board, and he has a version of it, and they just put out a new version. Any of them are good. They're all good. And they're all used on records that you hear on the radio all the time. Fantastic. Try and find a $29 sale on that one. It's regularly about $50. Also, the SSL brand, they make an SSL EQ. channel strip and stuff. It's probably the best one, in my opinion. But the Waves is cheap and easy, and it's good, so I use it, you know. Reverbs aren't just, you know, like large halls and springs. It can be one of those critical components of a recorded guitar tone. Like, you know, you think about Van Halen 1. It would be totally different without the reverb if it was a dry tone. And the thing that always blows my mind is how you could put an SM57 up on a 412 cab with a 100-watt head blasting out into a room, and the room leaks into the SM57. How does it get there? It's amazing, but I think that helps add that depth and dimension on expensive recordings. So not all of us have a big, humongous room. I don't. My live room is dead, D-E-A-D, dead. So I find like I miss that little extra space around it, that dimension. And if you're using a modeler, then you know, most of them aren't covering that zone. It's going to be pretty dry. So I say check out the IK Multimedia Sunset Sound Studio Reverb. Sunset Sound is where Beach Boys, Van Halen, Rolling Stones, Elton John, it's a famous Hollywood recording studio. It's actually, we've done some IR captures for 2 Notes there too, so I've worked there. It's amazing. It's grimy and vintagey, but you hear the chamber and you're like, that's the sound. Whoa. You walk into the live room and you're like, that's the sound. Holy cow. It's really, it's educational just to hear it, and then everything sort of falls into place. But the plugin does a great job. In fact, I have some recordings, and then when I put the Sunset Sound on top of it, it's like it doubles up on Sunset Soundness, and now I can hear the Sunset Sound room in the original recording. It's like, it's so defined, and this plugin has it extrapolated. Reverb 2 for me is one you may not have heard of. It's Arturia Intensity. Arturia is known for making synthesizer plugins, and actually now they make hardware and stuff too. This Intensity comes in the 3 reverbs that you'll actually use. That's the name of their sort of line, like 3 delays you'll actually use. And it's great. All of the reverbs in there are good. This one is slamming. It's like the lushest reverb on the planet. So it's like you take a Lexicon, big, wide, swirly thing, and then you made it with an Eventide Black Hole, which is that long, sort of dreamy thing, and then you get that swirling Arturia Intensity. It's like an original algorithm thing, it says in their literature, but it's beautiful. It's around, I think like $100. Yeah, I think you could get it individually, but the bundle's good too. So, yeah, to look there. Chorus, I love Chorus. I actually don't use Chorus as much as maybe someone that watches the channel would think, because it certainly puts a timestamp on many things. But I love me some Chorus when done right. Overloud makes the Modula bundle. It has the SPX90 Symphonic, Dimension D, and Solina Ensemble. The Symphonic is also in the Overloud THU, my Metal X pack, because I needed that to get the Zakk Wylde tones. So they built that plugin for me, which was so cool. So if you already have that, you're good to go. But if not, if you just want it, you can get, you can get it there. Anyway, their Dimension D, to me, is the best. I put every Dimension D plugin I had, and that one it has some extra controls, so you could change some like blend and wide and stuff. Regardless, it just sounded so hardware-y, more than the others. It beat everything. So check that out if you're a Dimension D guy or gal. Dimension D is for everybody. I put this in the chorus family. It is the micro pitch. Luther, Van Halen, every single person that ever played guitar in the 80s. And Eventide, the king of micro pitch, the guys that sort of invented it, I guess, in the H3000. They have micro pitch plugin. They have a whole bunch of plugins and stuff. I A-B'd everything I could find, and Sound Toys has a micro pitch that's really good. But Eventide had put out this thing called H3000 Factory a ways back. I could get like 99.9% like match to the H3000 hardware. There you go. Here's the tip of the day. Have you been lusting after an H3000? You're like, I'm not going to pay $2,500 for a box that made crap out on me any day now. There you go. Get that. It's great. It does delay. It's like an H3000 without the reverb algorithm, which is, it's a big deal. But if you like the stuff, you'll love this. Or if you just want the micro pitch, I just set it so when I turn it on, it just does micro pitch. Compressors. This is like the booty of mixing plugins. Where you're like, even the people that they're like, I'm not into booty. You're like, secretly you are. You can't turn around without bumping into an 1176 plugin algorithm. I think at this point it's the most emulated piece of hardware in existence. It must be. Everyone's got an 1176. There's some that come really close to the hardware, the UAD stuff. That's their lineage. They made the 1176 Universal Audio. Theirs is really good. Acoustica just put out a new one, really good. Everyone makes a really good one. For me, it's the CLA 76 from Waves. This is the signature Chris Lord-Alge. Chris is one of the guys that made the 1176 so popular in the last 20 years. I would say at least the blue stripe. He sort of made that very sought after and expensive. So why did I pick the CLA 76? Super low latency. It sounds good. It always works. Now, if you A/B this versus Acoustica or the UADs, and you just go like, I think you'll pick the others. The CLA has, it's a little less three-dimensional, but if you're going to use 12 of them in a big mix or something like that, or all over the place, or you want to maybe track through it, or you're on a laptop or have a low-powered system where you're just trying to get stuff done and you don't have all this power headroom, it's fantastic. Again, find the deal. Get the $29 version because it's super. Now for my second compressor, I'm going with the DAW compressor again. Your native one that you're sitting on right now is gonna be pretty good. I know like Pro Tools has really a really kicking one. Ableton has a great one. The Logic one's really good. And there's these cool buttons where you could jump between like a DBX, SSL, Focusrite, 1176, LE3A, LE2A. It sounds really good. There's some big names in the all-in-one sort of format, like Native Instruments guitar rig, IK Multimedia's Amplitude, Line 6 Helix, the native, and everything. I'm an Overloud guy, Overloud THU. That way for a couple things. It's not the sexiest GUI, but it really sounds good. Everyone that I've turned on to it is kind of surprised, like, oh, this is really great sounding. It's priced, I think, right. They have light versions that are much more affordable than the full version, but the full version has all of their effects in there, which I think is super cool. And if you have ever wanted like a Kemper, but wanted to get into like some of the big rack tone captures that I've done for that, but you don't have a Kemper, the Overloud, we've transferred that stuff, and it sounds great. I mean, it's it. So, yeah, you want the big rack stuff, but you want it in a plugin and not a Kemper, Overloud THU. My other one, which I know you know by now, is the 2 Notes Torpedo Wall of Sound plugin. It's basically an IR loader. You could load any of your IRs into it. It has EQ, compression, like a little reverb and stuff. But you can buy dynamic IRs, which is, fully dynamic. You can move the mic wherever you want. And you could demo cabs, which is kind of cool. I use it all the time. That's my main IR loader. And I also I like having the graphic in there. It's nice. It makes me happy. What can I say? All right, and lastly, at the end of the day, if you have a bad guitar tone, it's because you have a bad drum sound. I felt that way my whole life. And I actually would argue anyone into the ground on that one. You take the worst guitar tone ever, you put the right drum sound, and it's going to be the awesomest guitar tone. It's just how it works, And then if you have a great guitar tone and a great drum tone going, everything just goes to the next level. I use TuneTrack's Superior Drummer 3. You don't have to go the full stupid monster gigantic mega gigawatts package. You could get Easy Drummer, which just lets you go and grab all of their expansion packs. Their expansion packs are great. They're super high quality. They have the cool MIDI patterns, so you'll collect a cool library of MIDI patterns that you could just drag and rock out to and write songs to and edit and move them around. All there in Easy Drummer. So and they have sales all the time. They have Metal Month or Roots Month and Funky Month. My other drum suggestion to check out is GGD, Get Good Drums. You guys know Nolly from Periphery? He's the bass player, but was maybe the best guitar player. Now you see him, he's got plugins and all kinds of stuff going on, pickups, signature pickups and that. He's got an incredible ear for mixing and engineering and is a great musician. So they have this drum line and it's called One Kit Wonder. Love it. They're inexpensive. They're under $100. It's one kit. Not a lot of options going on there. Very little controllability compared to anything from TuneTrack. But who cares? You pull it up and you're like, yeah, there, sounds good. That's what I want. Do I want to spend all day EQing and compressing the snare drum so that I could, play 3 chords over? No. Open it up. So that's it. That's a lot of chit chat from old Michael here. I hope you guys had a good 2021. Thank you for watching, everyone that watched anything. I appreciate it. Thank you for commenting. Onward to 2022.